ABC 26 Live at 6. Green Bay police say a suspect accused of shooting another man is in jail. Plus, Robert Mueller files charges in the probe that also looks into potential collusion. And hundreds kick off the Halloween festivities a little early, all for a good cause. New tonight, one man is in custody after a shooting in downtown Green Bay last night. NBC 26 Max's Grossfeld joins us with more. Max.
It was just after 11 o'clock in downtown Green Bay, right when nightlife generally starts to get going, when police say a man fired a shot at another man on the corner of Northland and Washington. Fortunately, no one was injured, and officers say they couldn't find any damaged property. According to a press release, the victim told officers about the incident. Minutes later, they say they found the suspect. They say they also found the gun used in the shooting. Police say the suspect's being held in the Brown County Jail on charges relating to this incident. Reporting in Green Bay, Max Grossfeld, NBC 26.
All right, thanks for that report, Max. Now, if you have any information on this incident, please contact the Green Bay Police Department. 3 people are dead and 2 more are injured from a crash on Highway 57 near Dykesville from yesterday. That's according to the Brown County Sheriff's Department. As of then, 2 people were taken to the hospital in critical condition. Deputies say they plan to release the names of the people involved in that accident tomorrow. We'll bring you the latest information as we do get it. A Green Bay man is facing an OWI charge for the 6th time. Officers say they were called to the car crash on I-41 near 9th Avenue around 1 this morning. They say a car hit a guardrail and the man was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. He hasn't been formally charged just yet. In Waushara County now, 1 person is dead after a car crash in the town of Dakota last night. The sheriff's office says it happened on State Road 21 by County Road Y around 9:30. They say a vehicle was found on fire in a cornfield and a person who later on died was also found nearby. The crash is under investigation. We're also under a weather alert. Cold temperatures tonight. Meteorologist Matt Hoffman has the latest. Matt.
Hey Mo, for folks that haven't seen a freeze yet this fall, that is going to change tonight. It's going to get cold throughout northeast Wisconsin. For areas that haven't seen that freeze, we do have a freeze warning for tonight through 9 a.m. on your Sunday. Temperatures are going to dip down into the 20s, so a widespread frost and freeze expected across northeast Wisconsin. You definitely want to cover those plants. We're already seeing temperatures dropping many spots across the state already well down into the 30s. We're seeing some clearing across northern parts of our viewing area, and that clearing will continue to take place for us, and we will see those winds diminish as well as temperatures fall through the 30s. More details on your Sunday forecast and how your Halloween is shaping up coming up in just a bit.
Thanks, Matt. Covering America now, sources say Special Counsel Robert Mueller has filed his first charges in the probe that looks into potential collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign. Those charges are still unknown at this time, but a federal judge gave them the green light last night. Victor Blackwell reports.
It is a landmark moment in the investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election. Sources briefed on the matter say a federal grand jury in Washington approved the first charges in the investigation led by Special Counsel Robert Mueller. A spokesman for the Special Counsel's office declined to comment. The indictments are sealed, but plans are underway for anyone charged to be taken into custody as soon as Monday.
When you see a sealed indictment like this, it almost always happens for one reason. There's a fear that the defendant is going to flee the jurisdiction.
Mueller wants to send a signal to other prospective defendants. If this person who has been indicted or persons are facing 20 to 40 to 50 years for whatever these crimes are related to collusion or not, there are others who may be subject to similar charges who have further knowledge about dealings with Russia.
The Special Counsel's investigation focused on potential collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, as well as obstruction of justice by the president, who might have tried to impede the investigation. CNN reported that investigators are scrutinizing the president and his associates' financial ties to Russia.
This is what we've been waiting for, to see if investigators will bring charges in this probe that even impacts the president to a degree, because investigators have been looking at his potential involvement in obstruction of justice. You see him tweeting about it, calling it a witch hunt, a hoax, saying that it's a waste of taxpayer dollars.
Mueller's team has also examined foreign lobbying conducted by former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort, former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, and others. The special counsel has issued subpoenas for documents and testimony to a handful of figures, including some people close to Manafort and others involved in a Trump Tower meeting between Russians and campaign officials.
And this may be an indication that he's not trying to show his hand because he doesn't want people to be able to either conceal evidence, destroy evidence. It may be the reason that he was able to do a surprise, no knock and announce warrant on Paul Manafort's home. There is an urgency that Robert Mueller is seeing, and it may be a flight risk. It may also be because there are some missing pieces.
And besides possible collusion, Mueller is also looking into potential obstruction of justice by President Trump. And former President Obama has been summoned for jury duty in Illinois. Sources say Obama received a notice from Cook County to appear next month, and he plans to serve. The former president lives in Washington, but he maintains a home in Chicago. Obama is not the first former commander-in-chief to receive a jury summons. President George W. Bush reported for jury duty in Dallas just 2 years ago, but he was not selected. A Wisconsin man has found himself locked in a beer cooler at a gas station overnight and decided to reap the benefits. Marshfield police say 38-year-old Jeremy Van Ert walked into the cooler at a Quick Trip just before midnight on a Tuesday. They say he knew they weren't going to sell him beer, and he also got locked in. Officers say he drank 30 packs of beer before a customer saw him. Even police are saying they're a little surprised about his behavior.
This is unique. I've been here 20 years, and I've never, I've heard of people being locked inside of buildings, never inside of a beer cooler or a beer cave.
And officials say the man is currently in jail on probation held from an unrelated case that probation requires him to stay sober. It's a soon-to-be homecoming for former White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus. Priebus is rejoining his former law firm, the Milwaukee-based Michael Best and Frederick. They say Priebus will be president and chief strategist at the firm's office in Washington, D.C. He worked there for about 13 years. A senator negotiating with Foxconn says a key vote on a contract was delayed because taxpayer funds could be exposed if the company doesn't fulfill their end of the deal. The Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is working on a contract to execute those incentives. Senator Tim Carpenter said the agency can't guarantee taxpayer funds will be recouped if Foxconn does violate that agreement. And if you plan on getting the new iPhone X, you might have to wait just a little longer because it could be out of stock for the holidays. Apple opened up its website for pre-orders on Friday, but 20 minutes after they did, the initial allotment scheduled for November 3rd was snapped up. Right now, Apple is saying the earliest delivery will be in 5 to 6 weeks, but some analysts are saying the demand will be so high they may not get orders until February. Still ahead on NBC 26, members of law enforcement fighting crime in a different way. See how. But first, what's the weather going to look like for the rest of the weekend? Your forecast coming up next.